Imagine a family film so dangerous that children nearly died making it. Imagine a heartwarming alien story so suspicious that the FBI actually showed up on set. And imagine a movie puppet so realistic it made a child believe she was talking to a living creature from another world. This isn't science fiction. This is E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, the movie that captured the hearts of millions while hiding a dark, disturbing reality behind the scenes. Stay with me, because at the end of these 20 shocking secrets, I'll reveal a bonus fact so strange, so chilling, it will forever change the way you see E.T. Fact 1. The Moon Ride of Doom. That iconic shot of Elliott and his friends flying bikes across the moon nearly ended in tragedy. The rigs used to suspend child stunt performers were dangerously unstable. During test runs, chains snapped and bikes swung violently, with kids dangling 30 feet in the air. Spielberg halted the sequence until engineers reinforced the wires. What became one of the most magical moments in film history was, in reality, a stunt that nearly killed children. Fact 2. FBI shadows on set. Spielberg later admitted government agents monitored E.T. filming. The FBI was uneasy with the friendly alien narrative, worried it clashed with disinformation campaigns about UFOs. Crew members remembered black sedans stationed outside Universal Studios. Some even claimed their phones picked up odd static. Spielberg insisted he wasn't telling a classified story. But the presence of men in dark suits made everyone wonder. What was Hollywood really brushing against? Fact 3. The puppet that wept E.T. wasn't just rubber. The crew engineered a system to drip glycerin through tiny ducts, simulating tears. But once, the tubes malfunctioned, releasing a flood of liquid across E.T.'s wrinkled face. Child actors recoiled, convinced the creature was crying for real. One young extra fainted, whispering later that E.T. had a soul. The blurred line between prop and living being was so unsettling that Spielberg forbade the crew from joking about the puppet being alive. Fact 4. Spielberg versus the Studio Universal executives hated the alien puppet. It collapsed constantly. Wires jammed, and early footage looked ridiculous. One executive demanded the project be scrapped. Spielberg fought back, threatening to walk if the studio didn't invest in repairs. He convinced them by showing raw footage of Drew Barrymore's emotional reaction to E.T. The tears on her face were real, and so was the magic. Spielberg won, but the film was one boardroom decision away from never existing. Fact 5. Drew Barrymore's belief. 7-year-old Drew Barrymore believed E.T. was real. She spoke to him off-camera, confided secrets, even asked if he was cold. Spielberg played along, encouraging her to take care of him. But her innocence blurred dangerously with reality. When the puppet died in the medical sequence, she broke down hysterically, unable to separate fiction from truth. That raw grief is what audiences see in the film, but it came at the emotional cost of a child's heart. Fact 6. A near fire on set. During one late-night shoot, a faulty electrical wire sparked inside the E.T. animatronic. Smoke began billowing from the puppet's chest as children screamed. Crew rushed in with extinguishers, narrowly preventing flames. Spielberg later admitted he feared the press would discover kids nearly burned alive on a family film set. The puppet was repaired, but some insiders joked that E.T. wasn't calling home. He was calling the fire department. Fact 7. Henry Thomas's haunted audition. To land the role of Elliott, Henry Thomas was told to imagine government agents taking away his best friend. He broke into uncontrollable sobbing so real the casting director wept. Spielberg ended the tape with,
"Okay, kid, you got the job."
Thomas later admitted he didn't act. He thought about his dog dying. That raw pain stayed with him, making Elliott's bond with E.T. more than acting. It was childhood grief permanently captured on film. Fact 8. Deleted scenes buried forever. Spielberg filmed darker moments never released. One scene depicted scientists performing invasive experiments on E.T., terrifying test audiences. Another hinted at government violence. These were cut, destroyed, and locked away in studio vaults. Insiders claim Universal executives feared lawsuits if parents saw them. The public never did. What was once filmed remains buried, leaving fans to wonder just how dark Spielberg's family movie almost became. Fact 9. Real guns versus walkie-talkies. In early prints, FBI agents chasing the kids aimed real shotguns. After backlash, Spielberg replaced them with walkie-talkies in later versions. Parents praised the change, but critics accused Spielberg of censoring history. The original gun scenes were terrifying, children facing lethal force from adults. Spielberg himself admitted years later he regretted altering the truth, saying, "I shouldn't have touched it." Fact 10. Alien smell of death. The E.T. costume emitted a foul stench. The rubber, paint, and mechanical wiring gave off a chemical odor that actors described as rotting alien flesh. Drew Barrymore once gagged after hugging him. Crew members wore masks when repairing the puppet. Yet Spielberg refused to deodorize it, claiming the smell helped the actors treat him as real. In truth, E.T. reeked more like a corpse than a friend. Fact 11. Kids in fear. The government raid scene was so intense that child actors weren't told it was staged. Spielberg wanted genuine fear. When men in hazmat suits stormed the set, kids screamed for real, believing E.T. was being stolen. One boy collapsed in tears, unable to continue. Spielberg later admitted he crossed a line in manipulating them. Fact 12. A voice that haunted. E.T.'s voice was a mix of sounds, animals, machines, and a chain-smoking woman named Pat Welsh. Her raspy tones gave the alien life. But Welsh's sessions left her gasping, coughing blood into tissues. She admitted voicing E.T. ruined her lungs permanently. Spielberg used her lines sparingly, layering in odd mechanical distortions. Audiences heard cute, but behind the sound was the pain of a woman sacrificing her health to immortalize an alien. Fact 13. Actors nearly suffocated. The hazmat suits worn by extras in the government lab sequence were airtight and poorly ventilated. Several actors nearly passed out inside, drenched in sweat. Medics rushed to pull helmets off fainting crew. Spielberg admitted safety standards weren't what they should have been. Ironically, while E.T. was dying on screen, real humans were suffocating around him, turning fiction into a near-deadly mirror. Fact 14. The hidden religious symbolism. Spielberg always denied it, but scholars argue E.T. mirrors biblical themes: the glowing heart, the resurrection, the ascension back to the heavens. Catholic groups labeled the film subversive gospel. Some even claimed Universal had to fend off lawsuits from religious organizations accusing Spielberg of disguising Christ as an alien. Fact 15. John Williams's secret score. John Williams' iconic score was so emotionally overwhelming that Spielberg recut entire sequences to fit the music. But few know Williams nearly abandoned the project after collapsing from exhaustion mid-composition. He reportedly fainted at his piano, his wife begging him to quit. Williams pressed on, channeling both love and pain into the score. That soaring bike flight theme nearly cost the maestro his health. Fact 16. A real FBI file on Spielberg. After E.T.'s release, Spielberg allegedly appeared in declassified FBI files about UFO influence in media. The Bureau tracked his career, noting his persistent positive portrayal of extraterrestrials. Some agents feared it encouraged public belief in aliens, undermining official denials. Though Spielberg laughed it off, others whispered that E.T. wasn't just a movie. It was propaganda. Fact 17. Merchandising wars. Universal executives nearly ruined Spielberg's vision by forcing toy lines before the film was even finished. Early prototypes of E.T. dolls looked horrifying. Long necks, distorted faces. Spielberg rejected them, furious the alien was being turned into cheap garbage. The merchandising war delayed release dates, with millions of dollars at stake. In the end, Spielberg compromised. Fact 18. Crew members' ghost stories night shoots, often stretched until dawn, leaving crew exhausted. Several swore they saw shadows moving behind the puppet, or felt cold chills in sound stages. One electrician claimed he heard whispering when no one was around. Spielberg laughed it off, but privately admitted the set felt haunted. Whether exhaustion or something stranger, many who worked on E.T. carried eerie stories they never forgot. Fact 19. The secret ending that never happened. Spielberg originally planned a heartbreaking final shot. Elliott growing older, staring at the sky, waiting for E.T. to return, but he never does. Test audiences sobbed uncontrollably. Parents complained children were traumatized. Spielberg cut it, choosing the uplifting farewell instead. Fact 20. A hidden message in the stars. In one moonlit sky scene, sharp-eyed fans spotted constellations rearranged to spell, "We are here." Was it coincidence, a joke from special effects, or a quiet message? Spielberg denied it, but one effects artist later confessed they slipped it in without permission. Bonus fact: the real alien rumor. Rumors persist that the E.T. puppet design was inspired by classified photographs shown to Spielberg by a retired NASA engineer. A wrinkled, short, big-eyed creature, eerily similar to real reports of aliens. Spielberg laughed it off publicly, but privately he once said, "I didn't invent E.T., I remembered him." If true, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial wasn't just fantasy, it was disclosure, hidden in plain sight.